What is Fosun looking for in terms of investments in India?
Sure.
How is Fosun positioning itself in the midterm? Are there particular sectors earmarked
Right.
for Fosun's midterm in
Sure.
India?
So I represent Fosun RZ Capital, which is a tech fund. We are a global fund. We have teams in US, Southeast Asia, China. The fund has made total 80 investments, out of which 60 are in China and rest around the world. So I joined the company about a year and a half back. Fosun, as you know, is really large. I'm also the chief deputy rep for Fosun, and they have three main verticals in India. One is the real estate vertical, second is healthcare, and third is the RZ Capital, which I had. We have in RZ Capital we have made 7 investments so far. Some of our investments are Delivery, which is the largest e-commerce logistics company. Make My Trip from public market. We have also done Ixigo, which is a meta search engine for travel. We have also invested in Kisht, which is a fintech company, and we have done 3 seed investments.
I see.
So we are growing the portfolio and the team. Now we have 7 people on the ground. One is in Bombay, one is in Bangalore, and the rest of the people sit in Gurgaon. The idea is to stay in India for long term. Fosun is not a short-term investor.
Absolutely.
From the strategic side, they also made one of the largest investments in Gland Pharma, which is in public news, which was an $800 million transaction.
Right.
And that was led from the pharma team. So how Fosun looks at it is that how can we help companies get to the next level and leverage the knowledge that Fosun has from China.
Sure.
Some of the companies actually can go and work in China. And also how do we bring Chinese knowledge into India, especially on the tech side,
Right.
because there is so much depth of information, especially when I travel to China. I see them actually 10 years ahead of us.
Right.
So in a way they are watching the movie again, and they are super excited about investment into tech. We do seed to all the way to IPO. So for us, it's the check size is not a restriction.
Sure.
But we do look at companies which have high growth pattern, similar to what a VC would look at.
Right.
And also look at the sustainability of the business model.
With respect to India, you spoke about heading the tech division. Are there more divisions in India?
That's right.
Via Fosun.
Yes.
And in the midterm, how much spread of India is there? A value that you earmarked to pump into India for the sectors that you earmarked?
Right. So the other 2, as I mentioned, is real estate and healthcare. There is no earmarking for India.
I see.
We are a sort of evergreen sort of a fund, and what happens is that we go and invest where required. Like I said, there is no ticket size issue, so we can go small to big.
Sure.
Generally, in the tech side, we like to come in early, or we come in very late. So because in early we can help the company grow faster,
Right,
and in the late stage we can come in while they want to go and expand beyond India,
Right.
maybe go to China, etc. So I think that's our fund philosophy. We are happy to do a $1 million check to all the way to $100 million, and that's why entrepreneurial look at us in a little bit more better frame of mind, because we are not as aggressive in terms of exits as a particular VC would be. So we do stay with the entrepreneur for a little bit longer time.
I see.
However, we do have very central focus, as you know, Fosun from outside, on the financial returns,
Right.
as any other investor.
Keeping India in mind, you're expected to, as somebody who's heading the fund, you'll see a host of startups approaching you.
Sure.
So I want to know from you, if I were a startup and I come to Fosun, what is it besides the return value and the entrepreneurial growth that you see as a company to absorb that startup in your kitty?
Yeah, so it really depends on the sector that you operate in. I think like any other investor we look at people who are trying to solve big problems. It is at the end of the day, it's people who drive companies.
Right.
So it's very important that the team is very, very strong, because doing business in India is not easy, as you know.
Right.
We have not only the infrastructure issues, but other issues that entrepreneur goes through. So we look at new sectors. So like Kisht is a great example of our investment in fintech,
Right.
which is an emerging sector. We do look at value investing. We are not somebody who would chase the number one asset and give a very high valuation. I mean, that's good for them, but we have our own thesis about building companies and, doing some, small investment with a long-term view. So I think we are not, typically running after, that you have to be unicorn. Obviously, we would want every other company to be unicorn, but it takes time. So we have the patience to do that. In terms of sectors, we like logistics because it's broken. We like healthcare. We also like the new tech sectors such as the content play,
I see.
and we also are looking into e-commerce as well.